All right, here we are. The Scary Alvarez Skull Session, Transfer QB Edition, here on the 12th of December of 2023. Tyler Van Dyke is going to be a Badger. Miami, somewhat divisive Miami Hurricanes signal caller. And real quick, I have a few thoughts on this. It's not going to pretend like it's not a big deal because it is a big deal. If for no other reason, it means that Wisconsin is not going to be pursuing a couple of the other transfer portal quarterbacks that other people have been looking into. I think this is a pretty good window in the fact that Cam Ward was never a realistic possibility for the Wisconsin Badgers this year. I suspect he'll end up at some blue blood in the South probably. Anyway, let's break this down. Miami Hurricanes quarterback. This will technically be his fifth year. He was using his COVID year, I presume, or else it was a regular red shirt when he had just a couple passes in 2020. Kid's had some ups and downs over the years. Statistically, the best season was 2021, 25 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. Last season, regressed a little bit in the interception department, 19 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. Saw on the board that someone said Mertz-esque. 2,700 yards, had some good things. 1 point during the 2023 season, he was benched for a freshman quarterback who subsequently sustained a season-ending injury. That was against Florida State in November. So then Van Dyke finished the season as the Hurricanes quarterback. By my counting, he has at least 3 different offensive coordinators in his time at Miami, which never makes it easy. I mean, look at Jordan Love as just one example of how the success or lack thereof of a college quarterback can be so dependent upon system. I know when Gary Anderson, strange guy, took over Utah State, Love's senior year, Love regressed tremendously from previous years. Anyway, let's break this down. My first and overarching thought on this is stay calm. Stay calm. I see a lot of Badger fans getting in their pants. Van Dyke picking him up. Terrible idea. Not the guy. Can't do it. Not going to get us where we need to be. Then I see some other people. This is amazing. This is incredible. The room is incredibly elevated. He's going to be a surefire success, a la Russell Wilson, et cetera, et cetera. I'm going to take the middle ground on this and say that there are some data points that suggest this could be a highly successful relationship, and there are some data points that suggest it may not be that great. I think the fact is we don't know. We're in the great unknown right now. But I will say this as a fundamental place to jump off from. Adding a veteran quarterback with a strong arm and a good deep ball, he could do a lot worse. At a bare minimum, at an absolute floor, you are adding substantially to the quarterback room as the 2023 season without an experienced quarterback approaches. So at a minimum, it's going to elevate the room. Fact. Anyway, so we have a wide range of outcomes. And one thing I want to say before we start is some comparisons to Tanner Mordecai. Well, Mordecai was heralded coming in unfairly so in hindsight. Van Dyke is a bizarro Mordecai. And what I mean is the things that Van Dyke is strong in, it seems like Mordecai is weak in and vice versa. Let's face it, Van Dyke is not a runner. I don't know if he's slow or if he's fast or if he's athletic. All that stuff notwithstanding, the results in the field, he doesn't run the ball. Very rarely runs the ball. Mordecai was great on his feet. Big time first down stuff. By contrast, Mordecai, as much as I like him and his competitive spirit, couldn't throw a deep ball. The fact. This guy, this Van Dyke guy, he's at his best with deep balls. Someone posted a Pro Football Focus grade of over 90 or over 9 on deep balls, which is really, really impressive. In fact, the closer to the line of scrimmage Van Dyke gets, the lower his Pro Football Focus grade gets. Hopefully that's something that Longo can fix, because ultimately a quarterback who has the inability to do meaningful checkdowns in this air raid offense is going to struggle. But I will leave my opinion open as to how this is going to proceed. Secondly, and I alluded to this early, which Van Dyke are we going to get? And that's largely dependent on the flow and dynamic that he has with Phil Longo, right? So for one offensive coordinator at Miami, Van Dyke really responded to him, to the tune of almost 3,000 yards, 25 scores, 6 picks. Very, very robust 160.1 rating. That was in 2021. Nothing about that year, that schedule, that was particularly easy for the Canes. And then we got to the point just a couple years later with a different offensive coordinator where, he's got a 19 touchdown, 12 interception thing, and he's pulled as the starting quarterback and is only saved by virtue of an unfortunate injury to a freshman. Okay, so that's not great. 2022 was kind of in the middle, but I guess what this underscores is that we don't know what Van Dyke that we are going to get, and what Van Dyke or which Van Dyke we're going to get is going to depend on how he gels with Phil Longo. The offense didn't gel great this past year for Wisconsin. It could have been personnel, could have been coaching, could have been some combination, probably a little bit of both. That doesn't mean this can't. Remember, Longo has an NFL starting quarterback right now from a couple of years ago, and then he has who's going to be certainly a high NFL draft pick in the 2024 draft in Drake May. Two legitimate NFL quarterbacks in a 3-year span isn't too shabby for an offensive coordinator. It's just a fact. So I know he has his detractors, but let's see if he can cook with a guy with a strong arm that can throw downfield, because he didn't have one this year. A few whispers about the attitude of the player. I can't give any credence to this. I don't know. I don't know Tyler Van Dyke from Adam as far as his attitude, but hopefully that's not an issue. You hope a guy's going to come in and be willing to give everything he can to the program and have a student's perspective on learning this offense or continuing with the type of offense he's already been immersed in a little bit. So we'll see how that goes. Another unfair criticism, this is a Miami Hurricane. He's coming to Wisconsin. This is Big Ten country. Cold weather is going to kill this guy. Well, okay, this is where it wasn't a particularly deep dive, but it requires you to click a little bit below the line. This is a Connecticut kid, right? So the first several years of his football career, including his formative time in high school, took place in Connecticut, which has a very similar climate to Madison, Wisconsin. And as many remember, with Hawthorne and some of these other cats, you can get some good players out of there. So I wouldn't worry too much about him coming to Madison and being like, oh, this isn't South Beach, I can't do this. Not an issue. It's just something to worry about. So, it's just tricky. And my only thing I'm imploring everyone to do here is take a deep breath, feel excited, not only for the future of the program, but for this kid, support him, keep an open mind. We shall see what happens. It's possible there's a scenario where maybe Matoyer is the starting quarterback for Wisconsin this fall. It's possible. We don't know. Maybe it's someone who's in the room right now. We don't know that for sure. But I can tell you the competition level of that room in the spring has just gone way, way up. So at a minimum, we can be happy about that. So my suggestion is to stay like I am, stay cautiously optimistic, stay in the middle. Don't go too far about why this is a terrible pickup or why this is the greatest pickup ever, because it's neither one. And not to compare him to Russell Wilson, but I made the comparison. He's going to be more Russell Wilson than Danny O'Brien. I think that was said kind of tongue in cheek. But this is a kid who can play, and this kid who in all likelihood is going to be Wisconsin's starting quarterback when we line up in September of 2024. So anyway, congratulations to Tyler Van Dyke. Welcome to Wisconsin, and let's see what we can do. Dawn is out. Have a great week. Hey, we'll see you out there for volleyball tomorrow. Actually, Thursday.